Happy Vlogmas, everyone. How's it going?
Happy Vlogmas!
Yay! I'm so glad that we...
Pepperly?
My hand suctioned to the fireplace.
Sure it did. Uh-huh. I wonder where Lydia gets it from then, huh?
She's my baby girl. Since we've been stuck inside all year, we've been watching a ton of TV. And TV is something that Amber and I have, it's kind of like our thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like we watch a ton of TV. Even from when we first started dating, it was TV. It wasn't like going out to the bars or going out to theaters or anything like that. We would just hang out at Amber's house and we would just watch Community.
My little tiny apartment.
Yeah, her little bitty apartment.
And I didn't have cable, so I had a friend's borrowed set of the series of Community, which was hilarious.
Yeah.
And we would watch that over and over again.
Over and over again. Well, sorry, friend, we still have that DVD set.
Do we really?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, sorry, girl.
So we thought we'd share with you our top 20 shows that we liked this year. And some of them started before 2020, but they've had recent seasons, so we really like these seasons, and so that's why we wanted to add them on the list too. And they're a little bit all over the place. They're from different networks, they're from different walks of life, but it's something that we enjoyed watching. And like I said before, we watched a ton of TV this year.
And I feel like each of these shows like represents a different phase of 2020 being at home, because we would like binge watch all of it at once, and then like have a little lull, and then binge watch all of something else, lull, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, I was just gonna say, and like some of these shows, like you can sit down and binge watch all of them, and of course some of them may be longer because they're entire series, but even the newer seasons are totally worth it.
Number 20.
Number 20 is, let me tell you about number 20.
It's a summer stage of quarantine in the house. It was really hot out and we didn't have any access to pools or the beach.
Yep. So Texas summers get super, super hot. We wanted a pool. We don't have a pool in our backyard. We weren't gonna go to a public pool because that was out of the question. I open up Google and I see that you can actually get a visa to work abroad in the Caribbean. And then funny enough, maybe it's because of the algorithms, on Hulu, Caribbean Life pops up. And Caribbean Life is like...
That's our number 20 show.
Yeah, it's our number 20 show. Caribbean Life is house hunters in the Caribbean islands.
Yes. No, we had seriously considered, like, after watching this Caribbean Life, watching all of these people go get these cute little apartments and nice, amazing houses, like, on the beach.
Yeah.
We seriously thought we're gonna move to Bermuda.
I was texting friends. I was getting people involved. It was gonna be a whole shebang where we were gonna be moving to the Caribbean islands. 2 huskies on the beach. I can just imagine it now.
You know what? Let's not cross that off of the list of possibilities for life.
It could still happen.
Maybe that's next year. We don't know.
Caribbean Life has been on for 16 seasons, and I think we binge watched like the first 9, and then we watched season 16, which is the newest one that came out in 2020. And man, even though like summer feels so long ago,
it does. And I just remember like looking at that. Oh, don't get that one. That one's ugly. Get this one at the pool over there.
I started like looking online and everything to see like where we would want to live, what city we want to be on, what island we want to be on.
You know what? Keep that research on tab.
Put a little pin on it.
Put a little pin on that one, because it's starting to call to me again as we're talking about it.
We were already this close before.
We were, and it's just like, it's a easy visa. I think you have to pay like $1,000 or something.
Yeah, it's just a couple $1,000. It was mostly moving things.
The dogs would just need puppy passports, and that'd be it.
Yeah.
Look at Caribbean Life on Hulu.
Yeah.
Okay, number 19.
So number 19 is one of my favorite shows probably of all time, and probably one of the best shows I've seen so far in this like genre, and that's The Good Place, the finale of The Good Place. The first 3 seasons were amazing, hilarious. They were just so well written. Smart. Yeah, that's how I would put it. Smart. Season 4 brought, and the finale brought, was in my opinion, probably the best ending of any TV show I've ever seen. It's like, how do you end a show like that? Without spoiling anything, we're definitely not going to get into any spoilers here. It found a perfect ending. It really did. Like, it satisfied everything and you left that world happy.
Yeah,
and
so like you mean like no movie, no ending like The Leftovers?
Hey. I love The Leftovers.
That was terrible.
No. Let me know in the comments below if you like The Leftovers. You gotta make...
Did they? Didn't they? Did it exist? Did it not exist? I don't know. You tell me. You wrote the show.
I don't know. It's better than a dragon burning a chair. I'm still bitter about Game of Thrones.
Aren't we all, though? Aren't we all?
Number 18 is actually a pretty recent show that we just binge watched on Netflix.
And it makes me laugh so much.
Yeah, it was
like,
super
laugh out
cute.
loud.
And that's Dash and Lily. Dash
So
and Lily
cute.
was a super cute show. It was like a little rom-com. I'm real curious how they take it. It's one of those kind of shows where I'm real curious how they're going to take it to a second season because it was such a good ending to that little story that it's like, how do you take it further, right?
I don't know if you should. I think that should just like be it. Like the one season of Dash and Lily. Their little mystery. So like I guess a quick synopsis without giving spoilers away is they communicate with each other through a notebook, and it's kind of like a love story, but they're also kind of like messing with each other, like giving each other dares and stuff. And it's cute. It's
very reminiscent of The Lake House, but for teenagers.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
And not sci-fi. Spoiler alerts for The Lake House and a 20-year-old movie, but it's a holiday show too, so definitely check that out for Christmas time. Like it's definitely something that you can easily binge watch and sit down with a nice cup of chocolate.
Hot chocolate.
Number 17 is another show that has been going on for a few years now, and the latest season came out this year, which is What We Do in the Shadows. And that one, it was perfect for Halloween.
Yeah.
It was perfect for that October timeline. It's about vampires living in Long Island, New Jersey?
I think it was Long Island.
Long Island. And they're trying to, take over the world, but they just don't do anything.
They're just so oblivious to how the world actually runs now. And my favorite one's Colin.
Yeah, Colin,
the sidekick vampire. He's just like, it's such dry humor that he's just like...
It really is. It really does feel like almost British comedy from his end.
Yeah, for sure.
Guillermo's my guy, I think.
Like it. Yeah. And then what's the girl's name?
Nadia.
Nadia. There you go. Nija. Something like that.
We'll put it on the bottom. But it's funny because we started even calling Lygia, like for a little bit. Like, Lygia, we love you. Number 16 is Mrs. America on Hulu.
Okay, so Mrs. America, what was that, the beginning of the year we watched that?
I believe
in February,
sometime
March?
in February, March.
It was so good. So it's a recap, I guess, on part of the feminist movement. Oh my gosh, how do I explain this without like getting into like the actual details? Mrs. America is a little snippet of our history of the feminist movement. It shows the side of like Gloria Steinem and her work with a lot of other feminists. It kind of like encapsulates or like represents what that movement was like at that time. But then on the other side, it also shows you Phyllis, and she's almost like portrayed as the bad guy of the show, I would say, because she's the female who represents like the internalization of the patriarchy. And so she's internalized the patriarchy, but not really. She's just using it as her like
political platform to stand on.
What she really cares about, which is so funny because she's so brilliant, she really cares about like rocket science and like Cold War and all of that, but nobody would listen to her on those platforms. So she like grabbed the platform of being against the feminists, which really doesn't make any sense because it wouldn't have benefited her to push people down because she is so brilliant. She should have been acknowledged for that, but instead she was. Sorry, I got into like the history of it instead of like
Amber's,
the actual show.
Amber's women's studies degree just came out there for a little bit there. What's great about the show is that it kind of gives you like an inside look of like who these people were during that time, because you really only see them from like the books they produced or the works they came out or the interviews they came out, and so now you're seeing it more, and of course it's in a fictitious storytelling, but it's kind of an insight of who they were as like people, and it's amazing actresses throughout the series, and so it's just it was like
very compelling. It made you feel like you knew them.
Yeah, you got to know them more on a personal level instead of just like who they were in history. So number 15 is Netflix's golden child at the beginning of quarantine, which is Tiger King. And Tiger King was a trip. It was a ride. And that, if you haven't seen it yet, it's probably one of those kind of series that if you haven't seen it yet, you're probably not interested in seeing it, because it was such a crazy, just intense, like weirdness of characters who are real people.
Yeah.
It's like documentary style format was very interesting. And if you haven't seen it, just check it out. Check out the first couple episodes, and if that doesn't get you, then it won't get you. But still, it's just worth, like...
It's just so unreal.
Just knowing the memes, at least.
It's just so unreal, the story. Like, aside from the memes, like, aside from, like, all the blah around it, like, these are real people who really dealt with these big cats. But, like, not only that, they... were insane. Not insane, but like they did things that most people would never like comprehend or think like to go do.
I mean, they start off the series by telling you it takes a personality to be a big cat owner. And that's definitely
it's the truth.
The truth for that show. Number 14 is an ongoing series that we're still currently watching because it's still coming out at the point of this vlog, and that's His Dark Material on HBO Max. His Dark Material is such a good story. I think if I needed to put something on HBO, like let's say Game of Thrones was their golden child and then Westworld was their golden child, I think His Dark Material is definitely going to be like the next like big show for them, or they're trying to push it to be. And it's really that good. I actually never read The Golden Compass, and
I don't know. I don't think I did.
It's the story of The Golden Compass, but of course they've taken it even further than the novel probably does, or the book series.
It's a series.
Yeah, the book series probably does, or it keeps it on track. I never read it. You guys let me know in the comments below how accurate His Dark Material and Golden Compass is.
I think what it is, like, for me, like, I don't realize how into that show I am until I'm watching it and it's over, and I'm like, it's over?
Yeah.
What happens next?
Yeah, it definitely draws you in and makes you want to watch more and more and more. Number 13 is Zoey's Extraordinary Playlist. It's on Hulu. Zoey's Extraordinary Playlist.
It's fun. It's lighthearted.
It's very lighthearted. It's
but it tackles a lot of really dark things though at the same time.
It's one of those kind of series that you don't expect it to be that good. Because one of those, primetime TV shows, it's a hit or miss on like, oh, is it going to be another doctor drama? Is it going to be another court case drama? And then you had Zoey's Extraordinary Playlist come in, and for me, it just had such a weird name that you're like, okay, check it out. I watched the first episode on my own because Amber wasn't actually into it at first. She's like, nah, I'm not into, I don't want to check it out. Yeah. So I watched it on my own. I ran home after that, and I was like...
Ran home? Where'd you watch it, babe?
I was at work, and I watched it during lunch.
Oh!
I watched it during lunch one day at work, and I ran home, and I was like, babe, we have to watch this tonight. You're gonna love it. The musical numbers, the dancing, it's so good.
It's true, though.
Yeah. I think it has, and no spoilers because I'm not gonna tell you where it is in the series, in the season, but it has the best rendition of I Will Walk 1,000 Miles.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That I've probably ever heard.
I agree.
And it's such a good show. So that one definitely check out for sure.
That one's a fun one if you just want something happy to watch without thinking about too much.
Up next is, like I said, HBO Max's Golden Child, Westworld Season 3. So Season 1 of Westworld was game changer. It really was. And
it was a whole new, different kind of
storytelling.
Yeah.
And then Season 2 kept that momentum going. And Season 3...
flipped it all upside down.
Yeah, because it ended up being really straightforward, but the story it told was so like thought-provoking that it left you wanting more. And then what they talk about is so like in-depth and like, I don't know, they really think about how they write these stories. Or
it's very character-driven.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Yeah. Number 11 is a Hulu original, The Great. And it's about Catherine the Great and her husband. It's a historical comedy that is based in fact, but pure fiction. And it is just hilarious.
It really is.
I've seen online that critics hate it, and like there's some people that hate it because they want it to be more historically accurate.
Oh no.
And it's just like, no, it's just so good.
But how do you know it's not historically accurate? Like, they didn't go and type down, and the queen had a great sense of humor. Nobody wrote that kind of stuff down. No. Like, who are you to say it's not accurate?
Yeah, I always like to think about that with like historical shows that are like based on real people but fiction. Is that like I love to like just imagine going, I wonder if they actually did that. Like with Versailles.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that one too, Versailles. But I feel like all of these historical figures are portrayed so seriously because a lot of them are kings and queens and such, and they had really serious roles in the world. But they were also just people, so who's to say they didn't like do hilarious things or act like complete jerks or
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, or just insensitive or totally sensitive. They're people too, so they can definitely have different personalities and just I'm the ruler, you have to listen to me.
The number 10, we have The Politician on Netflix. The Politician, I think this is season 3.
I think it was season 2.
Season 2. And the first season was so compelling and it brought us in right away.
It was such an interesting storyline.
Yeah.
You had to find out what happened next or who did what.
Yeah.
And why did they do that?
Would you put it as like a quirky mystery or?
I don't know if it's like a mystery so much as like a strategy.
Yeah.
Right? Like a strategy show.
Yeah. It's definitely like, yeah. If you like that kind of storytelling where people are planning against each other, but there's so much, and then like, you know, there's plots and backstabbing and wait, this person did what and this person did what?
What? Why?
But then it's completely just like sprinkled with humor. This is a great show for that.
Agreed.
And the actors are just perfect, I think, for the show. And there's just so many twists and turns that you just never expect it. And then season 2 definitely just does that too, and it takes it even further. And so I'm very interested to see where season 3 goes. Number 9 is Upload on Amazon Prime.
Loved Upload.
Upload was so cute.
I cannot wait until the next season comes out.
Yeah. So Upload is pretty much when it's a story about when you pass, you have the choice of either having a natural death or being uploaded to a server. And it's, you know, it's a near future kind of technology. You know, this one guy gets uploaded. He has a girlfriend that is really into him. And then he meets, you know,
he died early, and so he had a girlfriend. I don't think that he planned on actually like committing to long term.
Yeah, and so that was the last person he was with. But then he kind of like goes on his own adventures. And number 8 is Netflix's The Haunting of Bly Manor.
Oh my goodness, so I do not like watching horror. I like to read it. Watching it, like the blood and gore and stuff, it just sticks into my mind so much that I can't watch it.
Yeah.
But we wanted to give that a chance because
we just wanted to, I think it was like October-ish, and we were just like, sure, let's try it out. I was expecting that it was going to be a bunch of jump scares, it was going to be a bunch of gore.
And I don't like any of that
stuff. I thought we were going to turn off by episode 1, and then we binge watched of the series in like
2 days.
In 2 days. We sat there one whole weekend, we turned off the lights, we packed in the snacks, and we binge watched the entire thing. And it was so much better than I thought it was going to be.
It was not like jump scares and stuff, but it was more like terror, like a slow build up of fear, right?
Yeah.
And then it explains like the reason behind the fear and all of the happenings, I want to say. It's so good.
Yeah, that one definitely had a good ending to it too. That's another like mini series that had a really good ending.
A strong ending.
Up next, number 7 is another ongoing show, and that's The Flight Attendant on HBO.
I really enjoy The Flight Attendant. It's so quirky and fast paced.
So we saw the 3-episode premiere. We pretty much binge watched all 3 episodes in one sitting. And then, funny enough, as of this week, the next episode's out, so we're really excited to see episode 4. The way that this like tackles how a human would actually feel in that kind of situation, I think is better than any other kind of like movie that I've seen. How are people who have to deal with instant death of somebody around them, how can they just go on to keep like fighting and like, you know, jump buildings and stuff like that? Like, no, you would be really shooken by it.
Yeah. Shook.
This is like, and Kelly Coco.
So good.
So good.
Strong actress.
Yeah, like, and it's so funny because you're starting to see like all these new shows come out with different actors from The Big Bang Theory, and they're all lead actors now in these series. Even Jim Parsons in that one Hollywood show we watched, I forgot what it was called, the gas station one. But that was a good one too. That one didn't make the list. Kelly Coco in this one, I think she's bar none better actress than you would ever have imagined her to be from watching her in The Big Bang Theory. Number 6 is actually I think I heard that it got canceled by Netflix.
Don't tell me
and
that.
And it's the first of shows on this list that got canceled by Netflix after one season.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So it's Warrior Nun. Warrior Nun is a crazy sci-fi battle of angels and demons.
And nuns.
Yeah, and nuns.
Okay,
and the
so
chosen ones.
Let me give a quick synopsis. A paraplegic girl dies, and her body is somewhere, I guess at a church or something, getting ready for burial. And it's assumed that she committed suicide. So it's like some debate over whether she should be at the church or not. But anyways, a battle begins outside of like where she is, and then somebody takes a halo and shoves it into her back, and that halo brings her back to life and gives her like supernatural powers, and she's like thrust into this world that she obviously never knew.
It's definitely one of those fish out of water stories, but in action.
Like, she's like, when she rolls off of the table, she realizes she can walk again. And she's like, well, not only am I alive,
I can walk again. And so it's such a good story if you love action-packed fun.
Yeah,
really.
Agreed.
Moving on to number 5 is another one season canceled by Netflix series, Teenage Bounty Hunters. And Teenage Bounty Hunters it popped up on our feed as like new releases. We clicked it and then we watched it all. It was so good. But it was definitely one of those kind of shows. The writing, the acting, the chemistry between the actresses and everyone, and all the cast felt almost very similar to Gilmore Girls and like Marvelous Miss Maisel, where it was so quick, so witty.
It was quick paced, yeah.
They were bouncing off of each other. It felt natural. It felt fun. And it was such a good story when it came to who these sisters are, how they get into these predicaments, and just like, and it really like, it throws you into the mix right away.
Yeah, so it's about twin sisters who somehow find themselves as bounty hunters.
Yeah.
And they're teenage girls. I think they're like seniors in high school, maybe.
And it's just a great coming of age story when it comes to like who they are as people.
As individuals.
As individuals, yeah, because, you know, the show sets it up as like they're twin sisters. They do everything together. They love each other. They can finish each other's sentences. And like they have
like
this,
a twin power.
Yeah, they have this great twin power where they can talk to each other.
Like through their heads, like in a moment, a split second, they can like give a look and like the other person knows what they're trying to say.
Exactly, and it's so great. And then, you know, you just come to find out who these characters are. And you fall in love with them throughout the whole series. So number 4 on our list is actually Emily in Paris.
So I loved it because it was just such an escapist moment.
Really was.
Because it was all filmed in Paris, and it's about a young woman like getting a job and getting to move to Paris for 1 year and her experiences there.
Yeah.
But I really just loved seeing all of the different sites and kind of like making connections, like, oh, I've been there. And then all of the fashion was so awesome.
I know, Emily has the greatest outfits. Every guy in the show is dressed in perfect suits, and it's just
or like really crisp like t-shirts, you know.
Yeah, even the casual looks were like super nice.
Exactly.
And Emily in Paris was created by the same people who did Sex and the City. So if you love Sex and the City, and who doesn't, it's got, yes, it's a little bit more PG in the sense.
Oh, for sure.
But like, it's definitely has that same like dream status. Like, this is what
it's like an aesthetic show.
Yeah.
Like, it's like looking at the city and looking at the clothes. And
it put Paris as its own character, which is great. And then Emily is in Paris, and it's
Emily is in Paris. That's the title of the show, babe. Emily in Paris.
And then maybe we have a little bit of a bias because we got engaged in Paris, and so we have this like love for Paris. So it hit a little bit deeper for us.
Yeah, being stuck at home, just wanting to travel, and then you see this show come up and it's like, oh, let me watch all of this now.
All of this at one time. So number 3 is another show that's been going on, and it's an Amazon Prime show, and it is The Boys. This newest season of The Boys was insane. That's all you can really say about it. It was insane.
A lot of blood and guts in case you don't like that kind of stuff.
No, this one's very far on the superhero action side. And if you don't know what The Boys is, it's kind of the story of what if superheroes were real and they weren't as mentally stable as the comic books portray them to be.
I don't know, or if it's like real people get that kind of power, like how are they going to behave?
Yeah,
They're not always going to be nice people.
Yeah, like it makes you appreciate that Superman is a nice guy. Yeah. He definitely cannot be if you wanted to. Woo!
It gets intense.
It gets intense, yeah. That one is truly a ride for sure. Number 2, and
this one's such a feel good.
This is
hilarious.
It's a family series that just like pulls at the heartstrings. It's so cute.
Team oriented,
team building, and weird. And that's Netflix's The Umbrella Academy. The Umbrella Academy season 2 is just
twist and turn.
Yeah.
You never know where it's going.
No, you don't. And it's so good at that. Like
I love it.
We went into season 1.
It's obviously number 2, so we like it a lot.
Yeah, for sure. We went into season 1 not knowing anything of the backstory or reading any of the graphic novels from Gerard Way of My Chemical Romance, mind you, and knowing any of that kind of story. So when we saw like there's a talking monkey, one guy's half ape, this guy can talk to ghosts, it was just like, what? And it's another superhero story, but told with real people emotions, I guess, real emotions of these people, like, or these are people who don't want to be this, but were forced to be this as children. It just gets weirder and weirder and weirder.
It does, but in a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. And
not like a, oh, what am I watching way.
Yeah.
Like in a, oh, what's happening next?
You know, season 2, no spoilers, because it kicks right into it in the first episode. But what if you put these weird superheroes when JFK was around, you know, and that's where season 2 goes, and I'll leave it at that.
And the last one on our list, number 1 for 2020
Number 1 is Lovecraft Country on HBO. Lovecraft Country on HBO is so good. I didn't watch the Emmys, but I know they won.
Did they?
Yeah, I know the actress won. They totally should have given a supporting actor to their uncle in the show. There's one episode that is just beautiful. It is beautiful.
So it takes themes and monsters from Lovecraft stories, but then it also puts that alongside the themes and horrors of I guess experiencing America through a lens of like racism and being an African American during a certain time in our history.
Yeah.
And it puts them together and it begs the question of like which one's scarier.
Yeah, like who's scarier, monsters or humans? Like, and it's just so well written. The story is so intriguing and it pulls you in, and the actors, the way that they just like sell it to you, it's just so believable and it's just so good. Like, and it has that
thought-provoking.
Yeah, it's very thought-provoking. It even has that sci-fi aspect. It has that horror aspect at some points, you know.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And a lot of terror.
A ton of terror.
But it's very different from something like The Haunting of Bly Manor, whereas The Haunting of Bly Manor knows it's this. Lovecraft Country is like
a multitude.
Yeah, it's a multitude of like different layers and like teasing you of themes. It's just, I cannot wait for season 2. Season 1 just blows it out of the water.
It really does. So
and
good.
It leaves so much room for growth, and that's another great thing. And I could be wrong. Maybe this is HBO's golden child.
I think you were wrong. I think this is the show of HBO right now.
And it's definitely one show that every time somebody on my Facebook feed, on Instagram says, hey, give me some new TV shows to watch, it's the first thing I type in.
Lovecraft Country.
Lovecraft Country. You have to watch it. Don't even ask me. Just turn it on. So
that's all of our shows.
That has been the 20 TV shows that we loved of 2020. I know it's been a lot. And there's been so many more shows that we watched that we didn't even put on this list because they were just so many good shows. I think this is really a golden time for television.
It is.
And now that HBO just announced that they're going to be putting out all their movies at the same time in theaters and online, it's just going to make like the at-home theater experience that much better.
I am so excited for that.
Seriously.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm just like so looking forward to like cuddling up and watching movies and making like our own popcorn.
Yeah. The at-home movie experience is something that I feel is going to really define 2021 in my eyes.
Part.
Yeah, at least the beginning part.
Hopefully not too far into it.
No, we can't do this again. I need to go outside.
Anyways, that took a dark turn.
Thank you for checking out today's vlog. It's been really great and we really love making these things, and I love just being able to share like things that I like.
Yeah, things that we've enjoyed this year.
Yeah. So, bye! Bye!